Morning, everyone. Let me just post the link before I open this up. Okay. Morning. How is everyone doing? How was everyone's day yesterday? Yo. What is going on? So, CPI, right, ended up moving the market up almost 1%. At 414 here on SPY, right? Great flag on SPY, right? Lower highs, higher lows after this breakout of this consolidation phase, right? Double bottom, lower highs, breakout, and then flag. Best day of the year for you? Awesome. That's fantastic. Keep it up. Right, so now what we have to watch for is this 415 level. All right, we have this double top, 413.87, so this should act as a support. If not, then we'll probably move back down to this range of the flag, around 412 to 412.5. But if we can hold 413.87, right, we need to break through 415. All right, so I'm going to set my alert. Hopefully we could see a nice continuation day, a nice trend day. All right, 415 and then push up all the way to 417. That would be ideal. Okay. VIX, all right, breaking down here at the lows. Let's take a look at everything else. Netflix, great play, right? The runners ended up paying as well. Worked out perfect. Now sitting at the high here, but I'm fully out of the position. Risk to reward is not worth it in my opinion anymore, so not really gonna look at it. Tesla, let's take a look. Right, Tesla, we are back at this 172.8 level. Right, we need to see a break over the high of yesterday for a push up to 176. So 173.8, we should see a 3-point move to 176. Okay. But overall chart here looks good, right? Downtrend has officially broke, and we're starting to see, some swoop to the upside. Anyone have any questions so far? If everyone can drop a like on the video, that would be great. That would be great. Let me know if anyone has any questions. Find a setup. Right, Amazon was just moving sideways, and now we're up 1.6% here. Can redo this setup. I don't really like anything here on Amazon though, for open at least. Google still in this range. Timeframes are up here. Right now I'm currently using the 1 hour. What do I think about fading the initial reaction? You just need to play the levels. If it starts to reject a resistance, then go ahead and take puts and have a stop loss above. Right? If it starts to break through a resistance, right, you could take calls with the stop loss right below. Right? So it depends on the levels. Right? Don't have an opinion, I should say. Right? You should just play the levels. Be neutral in your mind and always think when you're looking at the chart and when you're gonna when you're gonna enter a play, is the chart good? Do I have a good risk to reward? And my risk management, right? Always. Before you get into the play, even say to yourself, don't let my feelings ruin this play, right? The market doesn't care about your feelings, right? Just play the chart, right? So that means size smaller and play the chart, right? So you can handle a bigger drawdown. Okay. Google still in this range, not trading it. Rivian on earnings up 7.3%. Solid move. Let's see if we could find a setup. AMD looks pretty solid actually, right? We had this rising wedge into this resistance, right? And I was considering puts, but with CPI, obviously I wasn't going to take anything. But now that we're over it, right, we have a huge support below, right? This previous resistance is now going to act as a support, hopefully, right? 95.6 or so. So need to see what happens at open, but this should act as a support now. Okay. No problem. No problemo. This kind of looks like a little head and shoulders, but right, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but this gap up's invalidating it. Don't really like it either. Let's try and find this setup. Coin looks actually fantastic to the upside. Right, I mentioned this yesterday, how we had this triple top. We broke over, pulled back, retested. Right, this old support acted as a resistance, and then it acted as a support right here. And we saw the continuation on the end of the day. Right, now we're seeing a nice 2.6% move in pre-market. We could definitely see some continuation today. Even to like 66 or so. Can I explain my reasoning for not using pre-market data? It's just there's no volume in pre-market. It's not really too relevant to my strategy, right? If I'm trading a higher time frame, it doesn't really matter. But if I'm trading, the 5-minute and I want to see pre-market highs and pre-market lows, then sure, I could take a look and use them as individual levels, but they're not going to be significant, right? I'm trading higher time frames and I'm looking for more significant levels like this. Right, how previous support, acted as resistance, acted as resistance. Right, these huge levels across the board will be way more significant than a pre-market level. Let me know if that answered your question, Summit. We'll keep an eye on this for continuation. Meta looks great too, actually. Right, we just broke, we rejected this resistance, which was a support, right, at close yesterday, but now we're opening above it, and hopefully we should be able to see some continuation out of this wedge. Gonna keep an eye on Meta. Boeing, stuck, not really looking. BABA, right, I mentioned this on BABA, how we have this huge support here at 80.5, right? Previous support, bounced off of it perfectly yesterday. Now we're kind of creating this rounding bottom. Well, and so I'm curious to see if we can continue to hold and start to form this base before our next leg up. Baba, just covered Baba. Hopefully you saw it. Square's been looking pretty awful. And that's really all I got. Q's over high. Q's actually looks pretty decent. Let's take a look. Alright, so on the Q's, the next resistance that we have is this previous support. 326.36, right? We saw a nice bounce off of this level, and then above that we have this previous triple top, right around 329. Okay. Right, look how this previous resistance acted as a support, and now we're approaching it again. Right, so now we have this double or triple top. All right, we're opening above it. So if we see a move to the downside here at open, right, this should act as a support, and this should act as a resistance. Okay. But I think my top watch is going to be SPY at open. All right, if this resistance can break, we should see a push up and maybe potentially see a trend day. All right, everything is looking very, very strong based on CPI. IWM also, right, had this clean resistance yesterday. Now we're breaking up through it. Shop, sure. Shop's been seeing a massive, massive move from earnings. But I don't really like playing these, right? Because I feel like the risk to reward's just not worth it. But a simple plan would just be play through high day or the high resistance 65.13. Look for continuation to the next resistance above. Okay. That's really it, folks. If everyone could drop a like on the video, that would be great. Let me know if anyone has any questions. You got 15 minutes to ask me anything. We made some changes to the Discord. Hopefully everyone likes it. How do I spot divergences? I don't use that. That's what C-Blast uses. Can I go over V? Sure. V's just been very, very choppy. Right, we do have these lower highs, but we're finally breaking out. So now on V, you need to watch this high day, or this resistance here, 235.57. If that can break, you should see some continuation. Apple. So Apple, right? Nice little flag here. It's only up 0.8% here at pre-market, the weakest of most names. But we do have a nice flag here. So, you know, if this high can break, we should see continuation. Around 174.2, 174.3. How can you tell when a day will be choppy? Really, no one knows, right? But based off of where we are within the range, you could tell, right? So, for example, Google, right? We've been chopping in this range for so long, we're not going to see a trend day until we break through it, right? We saw a breakthrough here. We saw a nice move up, nice trend, but we pulled back, right? And no one knows where it's going to pull back exactly. But when it's trading in a range like this, right, it's just going to bounce back and forth until you see a breakout. Let me know if that clears up your question. Q's next level is, yeah, 326.36. Okay. Yeah, properties in Brooklyn, and I also am looking at Ohio now. Ohio has very cheap real estate, and the rents are solid. It's also growing a ton. So, looking at that area. How do I grow $200 port? It's tough. You have to play smaller names. Ones with smaller fees. SPY is a great one. SPY has small premiums, right? Trade options between around $20 to $40, I would say. Even though $40 is a lot, it's about 25% of the account. You're gonna have to. There's not much you could do with a $200 portfolio. Yeah, everything's cheap compared to New York. That's true. Yeah, when I started looking at Ohio and other areas, I felt like I could buy the entire city. One house here in New York or Long Island is about 800,000 to a million. In Ohio, it's about a 50,000 to 100,000. About 10% of the price in New York. Okay. Plan on trading futures at all? Not for now. I don't really need to dabble into anything else new, right? What I'm doing is working, right? No need to fix something that's not broken. Plus, I don't really want to start trading at night. I trade enough as it is. I like how the stock market is open, right? You know, normal hours. I don't need to start trading at 11 o'clock at night. So I'll pass. New York is definitely not overrated. But prices are high. Prices are definitely high. Some people hate New York. I know, I love it. There's always something to do, and there's always places open. It's not for everyone though. Not for everyone. 2,500 square foot home is 400,000 in Texas. It's not bad, but what's the rents? Right? As a landlord, right? What's the rents? What's the return? That's what I'm looking at. Right? Because in Ohio, you can you could buy a house for 60,000 that doesn't really need any work and rent it out for 1,400 a month. Right? So you put 20% down on a, let's say, a $60,000 house, right? That's $12,000. You're making 1,300 a month, right? After expenses, after loans, you're making about $300 to $400 a month, right? So you're making your money back in 2 to 3 years. Yeah, big cities aren't for everyone. Country is also nice. Everyone. There's pros and cons to everything. I'm a city guy. I love the city. Big energy, lots to do, a lot of people. I have an agent already. Yep. Even though interest rates are high, if a deal cash flows, it cash flows, right? And if it's a Section 8 tenant, the government's paying you, right? Which is what most of these houses are. It's Section 8. But the rent's guaranteed by the government. And people will say, oh, Section 8 tenants are going to trash your house, whatever. You got to screen the tenants, right? The people that are trashing the house aren't screening their tenants, right? Of course, anyone could trash a house, right? Any renter could trash a house. You got to screen the tenants. You could buy a house for 60K in a lot of places. Alabama, Ohio, there's a ton of different places. Texas, there's a few spots. Not really, actually. Florida, there's a few spots. Georgia, Illinois. Yeah, Daniel, just send me a message on Discord or Twitter. Twitter would probably work better. North Virginia. Just focusing on Ohio right now. I have a solid property manager, solid team. So I'm just going to look to build there. Okay. But market opens here in 3 minutes. Is there a website used to find these 60 houses? Yeah, just go on Zillow or Realtor.com. They're all over the place. Just set your filters. Okay. I made a Discord for real estate. I just really haven't updated it. Don't know where to start. So I made this Discord. I'll show you it. I was gonna start to, update it. All right, introductions, general, listings. If anyone has any questions about listings, I was gonna add some templates, books, websites, and I started to create this course. But I never really finished it. But if anyone has any questions, you could join this. And it's not really active, as I haven't really pursued it enough. But could definitely start to try and get this going. If anyone wants to join, I can send an invite. There's a link. Just pasted it. All right, but market opens here in a minute. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I will see you in the Discord.